Welcome to Horror News Radio for January 23rd, 2023. Join us for movie news of the week, horror movie news at that, and the 13 Nepo-Babies in horror movies. There's more than that, but we're going to count down 13 of them. All this and next coming up on H&R. Hello, I am Doc Rodden, and this is H&R, the official Gruesome Magazine Horror News podcast. Did I mention that this was horror news? I feel like I forgot. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest co-hosts on the net. Starting off with Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing, Crystal?
Okay, I totally lost my sound.
Oh, no!
I totally lost my sound. Oh, there we are. It's back. I was like, hi, I'm great. Did you ask how I was? I'm great. Yes. I know the routine, so I should have just answered, but I was like, it's like, I lost my sound. I can't hear anything. I was like, just pretend. Just pretend.
Welcome to the train wreck, ladies and gentlemen. All right, also joining us is the lead news writer for Gruesome Magazine, the one and only
Yes.
Dreher.
Woo!
I always just pretend. I can't hear. I haven't heard a word you guys have said in like 6 years. I have no idea. No idea what's going on. I just wait till your lips quit moving and then I say something.
Oh, that's what I should have done. I'm like, I am doing great. Everything is wonderful. Next.
Oh, man. Well, it's too late now. The world knows we've exposed you to the world. All right. Well, welcome to the show. We have a little bit of news, and then we're going to count down 13, maybe 15, but 13 air quotes Nepo-Babies that are in horror films, either coming out of 2022 or going into 2023. That was our prerequisite for this, because when we start doing the research, there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
There are.
And many of them I'd love to include, but they haven't done anything in horror in a while, or not as prominent. So I wanted to, we'll get to all that. I'm going to explain all that again. Stick with us. But let's jump into the horror news for this week, because that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we do, if you enjoy this show, which I hope you do, please hit the like and subscribe button, share with a friend. It will help us greatly reach more fans such as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you in advance. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the news. Crystal, we always go with the like. All right, Crystal, you're up next.
Okay, so Sean S. Cunningham is, working on his own Friday the 13th reboot off the ground, but he's also developing a reboot of a horror movie. Oh my God, this is actually really exciting. He produced back in 1985 House, Ding Dong, You're Dead. You see it. I was actually doing the ding dong. Yeah. I wonder if everyone out there has seen it. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It's probably streaming somewhere. Maybe we'll try to put a link to it. In addition, he's producing an original film titled The Night Driver, working alongside writer Jeff Locke and director Jeremy Weiss on the various upcoming projects. Now, The Night Driver, I feel like we just had a movie not that long ago titled with the same title, but maybe I'm crazy. Of course, with all the stuff going on with Friday the 13th, it's been in like a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, because they're working on Crystal Lake, Brad Fuller and Victor Miller with A24. So I guess now
it's the Chucky syndrome.
This is starting to like. So I guess it's all starting to like check out now, and maybe like they're going to have their own. It's going to be interesting to see how each of them do their take on this. I mean, I've never been a huge Friday the 13th fan, admittedly. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like slashers, but I prefer my villains to talk. So I'm really interested to see like this Friday the 13th reboot. I'm assuming it is allowed to have Jason, and they are going to have the hockey mask. So I'm assuming this is going to be more traditional, and the Crystal Lake will be more, since it's a prequel. I don't know. I mean, we're all just making assumptions at this point. I guess we won't know more until we see a trailer, or But House, oh my gosh. It says it's both an update and a reimagining of the classic, centering around the birth of a haunted house. So, I mean, yes, it is another haunted house film, and we all know it's a haunted house film, but I don't know. I think this one could be really good. I really love the creepies in this, so.
Yeah. William Katt could pass on the baton. I'd love to see him again.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh wait,
House was kind of more of like a horror comedy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But also, there's also an accompanying video game concept. Now, just as concept, so maybe it won't come to fruition, but I think that would be awesome. I mean, we have seen, Friday the 13th has its own game, which is actually really quite good. It's slasher. You can choose to play as Jason or the camper. And I think Tom Savini worked on that, actually. Yeah, I think he developed it.
He created a Jason skin for it.
Yeah. So see, that's pretty cool. I'd love to see that. I think that would be very fun.
The house. All right. Let's move on to our next item. Dave, you are a Stephen King fan, are you not?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
And what news might you have?
This is actually very, very good news. We're hoping it's good news at least. But we'd heard about this upcoming adaptation of The Boogeyman, which is a very, very early Stephen King work. I think it was originally published in the early 70s in a men's magazine. And then it was republished again in his Night Shift collection in the late 70s. It's not a long story. And then it's already been made into a film once as a Dollar Baby back in the early 80s. So anyway, they made this new version of it, and it was all set to go to streaming. I'm not exactly sure where it was going, if it was a Netflix thing or a Hulu thing, but it was set to be released. But in some of the test screenings, this thing performed really, really well. They had a really great response to the test screening. So now they decided to move it to a theatrical release. So we'll be getting The Boogeyman on June 2nd at a theater near you, Doc.
A theater near me. Cool. Just right near me.
Directed by Rob Savage. It starred a bunch of people who I don't recognize, but maybe some of you all do. I don't know who they are. But Chris Messina, Sophie Thatcher, and David, Dastamashalain, or something like that. But really, the strength on this one is the folks who wrote the screenplay. Scott Beck and Brian Woods, both we all should know from Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2. And the third screenwriter is a guy by the name of Mark Heyman, and he had a part in. He hasn't really done too much horror. Black Swan, maybe kind of horror-ish a little bit.
French, definitely French horror. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely got some credits behind them. So that's a major writing talent, So that leads me to believe maybe we're in for good things.
Yep.
The short story itself is just that. It is a very short story, so it's going to be interesting to see how they roll this into a feature-length film.
Yeah, and of course we like Rob Savage's film Host when it debuted on Shudder.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Has anybody seen Dashcam yet? I haven't been able to.
No, I haven't. But he did. He also did one of the scare package, didn't he? Didn't he do one of the scare package sequences?
I believe he did.
I don't remember.
The one about the boy, the 3 men and a baby. I think. I think I'm remembering that properly. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll find out if not too long. Early June, we'll get to see this one. So
that's quick.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's ready to rock and roll. I think I think it was due for an earlier, an earlier streaming release, but so now they got to get the marketing and the theaters and all that together. So it's going to take them a little more time.
Yeah, since 20th Century Studios is behind it, I imagine it was going to Hulu, and I think they regretted putting Prey and Hellraiser straight to
Hulu. Yeah, because those both could have performed well in the theaters, at least even just for a short run.
Well, now that Skidamaric hasn't it done over 1 million itself?
I think I did read that. Yeah,
that proves that horror is hot.
Yep.
That's all.
And speaking of, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but John Skip. Do you guys know who John Skip is?
Yeah.
He's an author. Skip Inspector back in the day, Light at the End. Anyway, he wrote a little review for Skinamarink, and he said it's the best movie I never want to see again.
That's about what
I thought that pretty much summed it up. Sorry,
right.
just had to share that.
No, that's great. All right. Well, Crystal, what do you call me with the Blumhouse? What is it?
Oh, a Blumhumper.
All right.
He is a Blumhumper.
Since that's what is happening, we have the news that nobody suspected wouldn't happen. Blumhouse has announced that Megan is getting a sequel for 2025. It is going to be January 17th, 2025. Keila Cooper is coming back to write it. Allison Williams and Violet McGraw are coming back to be in it. And they titled it Megan 2.0.
Perfect. Yeah.
Which is a great title, except SNL has done a parody of it, and it is hilarious. And it may make them retitle it now.
But as I told Doc, no one watches SNL. It's just a thing. It's dying. It's dead. So sorry, SNL.
They do a lot on TikTok and the social medias now. I don't know how many people watch the show, but they go viral real quick with their little clips of their shows.
Yeah,
because it's still kind of funny. I just think that they've had so much drama. I think it's unfortunate.
Always that drama. Back to the original crew. Okay, so Megan came, of course, is a big hit this year and has made almost 100 million worldwide. Jeez. I imagine it will cross that. And so, I don't think any of us here or anybody listening is surprised by this, but I think it's worth noting that in 2 years, 2025, we will have the sequel and more dancing.
2 years is like forever. It's like forever.
But it'll go by so quick. It's forever, but it'll be here.
It's forever.
You guys are looking forward to it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you go. That's our news for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let us know down below. What do you think of these 3 news articles? And
do you watch SNL? Do you actually watch SNL? I really want to know. Like, do you actually watch it? Don't lie.
Which is incredibly important for a horror news podcast. So,
yes, absolutely.
All right. We're going into our list of, it says top 13, but let's just say 13. They're not necessarily top. They're not in any order. But these are 13 actors and filmmakers that are offspring of other filmmakers. Nepo-Babies, if you will.
They're literally Nepo-Babies. And so we should preface this by saying, I think I, as an actress, even though I can't get an audition anywhere because I don't know anybody, I have no problem with a Nepo-Baby. I say you use whatever freaking contacts you can. You do you be you. I think it's wonderful. Yes. I just wish I was that lucky.
Yes, we're not doing this in a negative connotation. We're just doing it as these are people you might not know have famous parents or parents in the industry. We're doing this because Infinity Pool is heading to theaters this weekend, January 27th. And of course, that is directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son of Crystal, son of
David Cronenberg.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. I love him. Like, I love them both. Like, Brandon, oh my gosh. I'm just so excited. Like, I really feel like he's really going to carry on this legacy. And that's, usually they don't always do as well as their, I mean, it's hard shoes to follow in, but,
There's not many can.
But I will say, too, everyone on this list is actually really talented in their own right.
And the few hundred that didn't make the cut are also incredibly talented. Because there's some very famous ones that didn't make the cut because they didn't have content out this past year or this coming year. So that was our rule set. That's how we narrowed it down. Even then, there's so many. And I imagine there's even more that we just either don't know or overlook. But let's get into this list. I will point them out and you guys just comment about what you think about the person. So the first person we have up, since we're talking about Infinity Pool, is Alexander Skarsgård. Of course, his father is Stellan Skarsgård. If you're an MCU fan. You've seen him in those films. He was in Northman last year, Infinity Pool this year. And there's the cast. And, of course, but Brandon Cronenberg there as well, along with Mia Goth and Miss Coleman. What is her first name? I told you that earlier, and I forgot.
You did. I can't remember what you said.
But he's also, of course, well, there's a lot of other stuff he's in. I don't know if we can get into it. But, guys, what do you think of this?
I love all the Skarsgårds. So are we talking just about Alexander?
Well,
or are we talking about
now that you mention it, we also have Bill Skarsgård, who was in Barbarian last year and is currently just finished wrapping The Crow, where he plays Eric Draven.
Oh, God, that's exciting, right?
Of course, we probably most famously know him from It. Which broke him into Pennywise. But yeah, so we're talking about Bo Skarsgård. These are
now. Did Gustav not have anything this year? I don't know if he did.
I didn't look.
I
too
don't
hard.
think he did. Maybe he didn't. But he's just as good too. It's like all these children. It's like, phew, what a great family.
Oh my gosh, it's an incredibly talented family too. All right, up next, since Megan is the topic of the thing, it makes sense that we talk about Allison Williams, who is the daughter of news anchor Brian Williams, which I did not know going into this.
Oh, really?
You really didn't know that?
It escaped me. Yep.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, Williams is kind of a common name. So,
Yep.
But remember The Perfection? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
very
she's
naked.
amazing. She's amazing. Yeah.
And of course, us, right? So.
Of course. Yes. You know, The Perfection. I think The Perfection was practically a perfect movie. That was. I actually own a lot of the wardrobe from that.
Nice. And she's excellent in Megan. I don't know if either of you two have seen Megan yet, but she is excellent in it. She really kills her role. And of course, she's taking a producer role in that as well. So
Oh, good.
she is definitely carving herself a future in the industry for certain. All right, and one up next, I think everybody knows this, but it's worth noting. The picture is small, but I wanted to highlight the Haunted Mansion because you know me, I love the Haunted Mansion. But Jamie Lee Curtis, Halloween Ends last year, Haunted Mansion this coming year, and too many movies to mention.
Yeah.
Start with Halloween and all kinds of other things, but she is the daughter of Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh.
I think some people don't know that, though.
I think everybody knows Janet Leigh, but they don't, even though her last name is Curtis, they don't know.
They don't know that Tony Curtis. Yep. So sticking to the more famous, the next one is somebody that probably everybody knows. Nicolas Cage. Of course, he has Renfield coming out this year. His father is Augustus Coppola, who's into business but behind the scenes. But of course, his uncle is Francis Ford Coppola, very famous director, if you did not know. And of course, Nicolas Cage has made horror films and action films and comedy films, and every type of film you can imagine, left and right. And an iconic actor in and of himself. Wonderful.
Yes.
Now we get into some surprises. In Smile, we had Sosie Bacon. I believe it's Sosie.
Yeah,
I don't know any other way to say.
I think so.
And even though the last name is Bacon, I did not put two and two together, and that her father is Kevin Bacon, her mother is Kira Sedgwick. And now that you mention it,
you kind of see it. I do too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that photo and I'm like, oh yeah, I see the mom. I see her mom more than her father, I think.
But definitely talented, and she certainly did a lot to carry Smile, which was a great film, but she definitely anchored it with her performance. All right, up next we have another pair of siblings. So I grouped the siblings together, so I cheated and got 15 out of my 13. So bear with me.
This is quite a pairing, though.
Yeah,
come on,
up first
crazy.
is Odessa Azion.
Sure.
It's probably a Zion. Wouldn't you think? Probably.
Zion, yeah. It's probably. Do you think that's her middle name? Probably.
I would imagine. Or it might just be her favorite name. I don't know. But it's not her parent's name. But we'll get to that here in a second. She was in Hellraiser. 2022. That's her there.
That she was the lead. I mean, other than, oh yeah, no, she was the
No,
lead.
she was
I mean,
the lead.
yeah, she was the lead.
Definitely. And
She
then
did fantastic.
her sister, Gideon Adlon, was in Sick, which we just recently reviewed on the site.
And she was fantastic. Even though I wasn't, I didn't, but she was fantastic.
She did a great job. And their parents are Pamela Adlon, and the German director Felix O. Adlon. And they're both one's an actress, one's a director.
Well, if you don't know Pamela Adlon, she's the voice of Bobby Hill, which
well, there you go.
which I think most people know that.
Like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill?
Yeah, Bobby Hill. Yeah, King of the Hill. She's the voice of Bobby Hill.
I would never have put that together.
She was in Californication. She had her own show called Better Things. Now, the husband I don't know anything about, but she did. She's done a lot of work.
I had no idea. That's actually fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yes. All right, so let's go back to some familiar faces. We have Maya Hawke, of course, from Stranger Things and many other movies and shows out there. She is fantastic, and she's also a musician in her own right.
She looks so much like her mom.
She looks a lot like her mom here. And, of course, she carries her father's name, Ethan Hawke, and her mom is Uma Thurman. And, yes, there's absolutely Uma is all over that.
Yep.
But that's cool, right?
Yes.
All right. Up next.
Yeah.
Brad Dorstar. Of course, she's in the Chucky series and many other films and shows in the past. But that's why we're bringing her in tonight. I think we could all say a lot about her. I think we're huge fans of Fiona.
She's fabulous.
She is.
Fabulous. But so is her father. I mean, come on. He's one of the most amazing actors ever. And he's so nice, and he's so, what a great family. Yep.
Now, here's an actor that if you sat and thought about it for a little bit, you'd probably figure it out. But if you haven't, you may not know that Wyatt Russell, who's going to be in the Godzilla and Titans TV show and another film called Night Swim, which is a horror movie. Well, we'll get into that later. But many people might have seen him as the U.S. soldier in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
See, I have no idea. I've never seen him. But
all right. Well, you may have and you didn't realize it, but
didn't even realize it.
Wyatt Russell is the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
I see it totally, though. I see Kurt for sure.
In the jaw? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Now, I think you'll see the next one, too.
Once you see this, you can't unsee it. When he, smiles.
This is Jack Quaid. Of course, he was in Scream 2022. I believe this is a picture from it. Maybe from The Boys. But, of course, he's in The Boys, which isn't something we cover here, but we do cover on...
that still should be horror. Because, come on.
It's gory.
It's horror. Yeah.
It's good enough. But of course, he is the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, and it's all over him.
Yes, it is. When he smiled, I was like, and then he does that smile, and I was like, oh my God, how did I miss it? So obvious.
Incredibly talented. All right, the next one, unfortunately, the picture's going to give it away, but we have Lewis Pullman. Lewis Pullman was in Stranger's Prey of Night, but that's not the reason he's here. He's going to be in Salem's Lot. So
this is too much for me. I don't.
Look at the picture.
Crazy.
So much. Oh,
I love his bolero tie though. That's pretty cool.
Oh, man, he's wearing Texas all over, isn't he? But
Texas
Lewis Pullman
is awesome,
and he's quite talented too. Quite talented. I really like him. Matter of fact, I don't dislike any of these. I love all these.
Yeah, I love them all. Me too. Yep.
Just to put it. But the next one was also news to me. And since we're talking about Scream, Mason Gooding was in Scream 2022 and is going to be in Scream 6, which this I believe is a picture of. And then he was also in Fall, which came out last year. And he is the son of Cuba Gooding Jr.
I totally see it for sure. Like the forehead, how he raised, and then right here in his cheeks. You know how Cuba's kind of got those cute little chubby cheeks. Don't you see it? Like, yeah, this one's a little bit like harder to see, but I totally see it because those cheekies. I bet when he smiles, it's like that.
We need to hear him say, "Show me the money."
Oh no, I bet he hates that.
I won't.
I bet he'll never do it. But I will say that we like the new screencast. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So he's a.
I don't remember him in Fall. I've watched Fall a couple times. I do not remember him in there.
I can't tell you.
I mean, there's not a lot of people in Fall. Fall's like pretty much the two chicks on the tower. That's pretty much it.
So up last is somebody I think everybody will know that is a horror fan, a true horror fan. Of course, I've got a picture with her father, so you'll know who it is. But she starred in Dark Glasses this past year, and it is Asia Argento. Her father is Dario Argento, of course. Definitely somebody that's been in the business for quite a while, and definitely because of her father.
Yes,
because he plays, but is a gifted actress, so it is a good thing he did so.
Now, the only way I see this is the nose, but nothing else. And that's a good thing for her, you know?
Yeah, she doesn't want that forehead. Sorry, Dario.
No.
But, you know, we
nice to the Italian master.
Not on that forehead when we're going in. All right, so there's 13 plus 2 siblings. I mean, there are so
many more. There's probably 3 dozen more.
Hey, well, I've got some backups. I'm just going to run through them. I don't have any pictures or anything, but just to give you some. So, in Michael Gandolfini is going to be in Beau is Afraid this summer, and of course his father's James Gandolfini. So
he was so good in The Many Saints of Newark.
Was he?
He was.
And of course, he was playing a younger version of his father's character from The Sopranos and that. So, the next one is Billy Lord from American Horror Story and various other things. Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Well, and even further, like and then her grandmother. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it keeps going, doesn't it? Yeah.
Multi-generational.
Debbie Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That didn't even occur to me, but yes. Because if you were to mention Drew Barrymore, you would keep going and keep going and keep going, and you would never stop. Emma Roberts is from Abandoned last year, was Eric Roberts' daughter, and she also has a famous aunt.
And of course, she's been in American Horror Story, Scream,
That's
like the TV show, or Scream. What was it, Scream Queens or whatever? She's so funny. Oh God.
Now here's one that's a little bit of a stretch because he's going to be in Haunted Mansion this summer, which is Diane Levy. Of course.
What is actually the stretch? That he's a Nepo baby? Because I don't think that's a stretch.
That he's in Haunted Mansion, so he gets included.
Well,
he doesn't. I don't know what else has he done horror. I don't know.
No clue.
Haunted Mansion's good enough for me.
It's good enough for me. That's why I put him on the list. But some people might. Okay, the last one I've got that I'll mention, and then there's
this girl.
Now this one, when you see this person, you'll recognize. Okay, Let the Right One In is a TV show based on the movie, the famous movie, and she's in that, and she's been in American Horror Story in the past. But it's Grace Gummer.
God, she is.
And her mom is probably the best actress on the planet, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, she's so talented, though. Okay, I'm sorry. She is phenomenal. Like, I gotta say, this girl, like she was in Mr. Robot. I mean, she's been in a ton of stuff. She's super talented.
Yeah, and there's a couple names on my bigger list that I didn't suspect were even, Nepo-Babies. I didn't realize it. Lily Collins is Phil Collins, the musician's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
That, right?
Yeah.
I did not know that either.
Zoe Dutch is Leah Thompson's daughter. I think I knew that, but I'd forgotten. Katie Cassidy, who is in a variety of things.
Is that Butch Cassidy's?
Not Butch Cassidy. That would be awesome.
Okay.
But no, it's David Cassidy.
Oh, David Cassidy. I'm sorry. I don't know who that really is. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, my bad.
Here's one I recently found out on the 70s show is Chris Pine. Everybody knows who Chris Pine is, right?
Of course.
His father is Robert Pine from Chips.
Okay.
The supervisor dude.
The supervisor
I don't
dude,
know.
yeah,
I don't know
the
what that
captain
is.
or whatever.
Yeah,
You don't know what Chips is? This
No.
was it Poncho?
With the
and-
cops, is it the cop show?
on the motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Eric
yeah.
Estrada. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I do know who Eric Estrada is from Chips.
What do they
Then
call
as a
it?
cop.
Ponchin. It was Ponchin. Oh my god, I can't remember.
I can't either. But
Early set Alzheimer's.
yes.
No. No.
But yeah, I did not know that. Did not know that. So there's
Larry
more
Wilcox,
and-
is that it? I just looked
Larry
it up.
Wilcox, I know
Yes,
Larry
Larry Wilcox is the actor. Yep.
Yeah, that's the actor that played Ponch's sidekick.
Yep.
And there's oh my gosh, I really want to go through all these names, but I don't think we should. But so we'll leave it there, and you let us know in a film
we miss
that
someone.
was either last year or coming out this year.
Yeah.
Now a lot of ours are actors or actresses, and we don't have a lot of writers and directors in here. So if you have those we're kind of looking for those. But let us know in the comments down below some other ones that we could look into. Maybe some that we might not realize, which is a lot of fun. But I guess the talent is multi-generational.
Yes. It can be. I mean, sometimes it's okay. So see, there's so many more. I know. It's like I really want to, because I love Susan Sarandon and Sarandon's son. But okay, so see, I'm going to keep going on because it's I don't know what he's done recently, but he's phenomenal. They're all so good. You keep on doing you, and I'll keep on doing me.
Yep, I could go through a bunch of names. I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I know I'm rolling with something. But all right, so there you go. That's our week's episode with some news and our list. We hope you enjoyed the list. We hope you come back next week for some more. We don't have any idea what our list will be next week just yet.
No,
Ha!
something really cool.
Yeah,
obviously.
Oh, it's going to be cool every week. Every week. All right, Dave, Crystal, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of
Thanks for
fun.
having us. Yep.
And let's say goodnight.
Good night. Bye. Have a good one.